There's no doubt that once you start shooting on any kind of regular basis, you discover very, very quickly that cameras and lenses and lights are important. But man, if you don't have good sound, it's going to kill whatever you're shooting. And that's why I have found myself always on the look for a good, reliable, affordable microphone system that doesn't break the bank. Now, I was recently contacted by Comica to check out this. This is the Vimo C 2.4G dual channel mini wireless microphone. And what that actually means is that this is actually a lavalier system that you can easily click on, have a wireless mic right here on your clothes, and get ready to run and gun for it. It actually comes with 2 transmitters and 1 receiver in a charging case, which is awesome. And you know what? It's only 139 bucks. So definitely makes the case of not breaking the bank. It's very, very affordable and portable and has a lot of great systems. I want to talk about why, if you're a vlogger, this could be a good mic system for you that can help satisfy all the needs and check the boxes you need to get good sound. Now, the thing about this is a whole contained system. This is it. This is the entire system right here. I can actually slip this into my pocket. It's so small. And what's really nice about it, if I open this up, you will see the case essentially has a pocket here to put my cables, and it has this. This is the charging case that stores the lavalier mics. And what's awesome about this is I don't get 1 lavalier, I get 2 lavaliers and 1 receiver. So that's 2 transmitters and 1 receivers. And the charging case is really, really handy because, especially if you're a run and gun shooter, first off, it's got a USB-C port on the bottom that lets you charge it, so you can charge all 3 things at once, including the case. And what's nice about that is if you're out there in the field, the case is charging your lavalier mics every time you put them in. So if you're running and gunning and doing lots of stuff in a day, you know you can go shoot, pop this in there, and it's charging as you're going in between places. What's also really nice about this, because it has 2 transmitters in there, if for some reason a transmitter goes down because of battery or it gets damaged, you have a backup one right there. And if you're in the field and there's someone else you want to talk to, well, hey, put a lavalier on yourself, give your buddy a lavalier, they can talk to you, and all of a sudden you have good sound for 2 people. Really, really nice option to have. It makes this for $139. Man, that is a lot of stuff there. And in case you're wondering how much power you have left in your charging case, there's actually, if I open it up, you can see these indicator lights there. It's really nice to know where you're going, and it basically charges your stuff in the case, and you know where you're going. Now, they say you can get up to 20 hours while using the charging case, which basically means that you can run all day with this system, no problem. And realistically, let's be honest, if you're not using it nonstop, you can easily go a day or 2 using this without having to charge it. I've been testing this out for a couple days, and honestly, I've charged it 1 time in 3 days, and not because I needed to charge it. I still had tons of juice. I just wanted to have a fully charged thing for this review. Now, the transmitter itself is actually really nice and small. I mean, this lavalier is basically not much bigger than a stick of gum. I mean, look at that. Put it in your mouth, chew on it. Not that I recommend it. And it's a very nice minimalist design. It does have an indicator light, and it only comes with 2 buttons on it. That's it. There is a power button that if you long hold it, will cut it on and off, or if you short it, it'll mute it. And that's nice having a mute button on any lavalier mic, because sometimes you always don't want to be casting. It's nice to have that option. The second button is actually really interesting in the fact that the Vimo C has a digital signal processor, DSP chip built into it. So if you hit this, you can actually get 1 key noise reduction, which is actually a really nice thing to have in a microphone. And you know, you put this on there, you clip it, and it's pretty unobtrusive and out of the way. This does also come with a windscreen for this lavalier mic, so if you're in windy conditions, that can be an absolute game changer. I'm gonna go outside and step outside and check this in the wind. We'll see how well that thing checks out in a minute. Now, the receiver itself is also really nice and small and easy to work with. Now, it's very small. I mean, honestly, it's not much bigger than the transmitter lav is, but it has what you need to get what you need to get out of it. I mean, the first thing it has a 3.5 millimeter TRS audio output, so you can basically slip this on your camera, take a cable, and plug it straight into your camera. And as you can see here on my camera, it takes up almost no space on the camera. It's very, very small and out of the way. Now, it has a very nice, simple, and intuitive LCD display that I found. Honestly, I was able to pick this up and within less than a minute know everything I need to know about that. Now, the power switch, you can long hold it on and off, but if you do a short, it'll let you go between mono, stereo, and safety mode. And this is a really nice feature, especially if you are running gun. Now, mono mode and stereo mode, I'm sure you know, but safety mode is actually a really nice feature, especially if you're doing run and gun shooting. Because what safety mode essentially does is it breaks your channel into two signals. And what it does is it makes sure that one of the channels is lower than the other one. That way, if you don't have to worry about clipping your audio. You know you've always got a safety track in case you clip, and especially if you're someone loud like me, it lets you know you're gonna get your volume and not clip the sound, which is really nice feature to have. And you can just literally click between that. Now on the other side, you have a button here for each of the transmitters, and essentially this gives you a 4-level adjusted gain control. Also, if you hold down the long control button, the LCD screen will flip. So if you have it on a camera, you need to flip it, it's very easy. This gives you a nice option on how you mount the receiver to your system. Okay, so now that I've talked about this, what I want to do is I do want to switch from the shotgun mic I'm using to record this to this lavalier so you can hear what the sound sounds like on the lavalier for the rest of you. So let's go check it out. Okay, and there you go. So now I'm here with the lavalier on, and you should hear a bit of a difference with the lavalier versus a traditional shotgun mic, which I traditionally use. Now, really, that's the main thing you need to know about this system. It does come with one other feature that I do think is kind of cool, and that is this is a 2-in-1 charging monitor adapter. So if for some reason you need to, you can actually charge your receiver and monitor it at the same time. So for instance, I could charge this in there and put a headphone jack in there, and I can monitor what I need to hear from this at the same time. So kind of a nice feature if you're out there. It's one of those things that when you're in the field, anything that gives you peace of mind when it comes to powering is going to be a good thing. And so I think this is a nice little feature to have. Now there is one other very critical component to any time you're looking at a lavalier system, and that is the range. Now the Vimo C says it has a 200-meter transmission distance. So what I want to do is I want to go outside and actually test that out and see how this thing handles outside in a real world condition, windy condition at 200 meters away. So let's go ahead, jump outside, take a look. Okay, so we are outside now with this Comica lavalier mic, and we're gonna do the real test, which is the distance test. Now it does say you can go 200 meters and still get a signal with this as long as you get a clear line of sight. Now over my shoulder, I've used Google Maps, I have found a field. That back corner way over there is exactly 200 meters. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump over there, we'll see if this thing actually does it, and we'll come back. Okay, so right now I am 200 meters away exactly according to Google Maps. So what I want to see now is, can you hear my voice? And hopefully, if you can't hear my voice, we'll see when it picks up. If you can hear my voice, which is what we really want, that's really seeing if this thing really does cast 200 meters. And I think the big thing is when you're thinking about why you would want a lavalier mic, why would you ever need it to cast this far? I mean, I am way away from the camera right now, but there's a lot of reasons why you'd want this kind of distance on a lavalier mic. And really the first one is, it just shows a sense of power, because while you may not always be 200 meters away, you may be 50 meters, 25 meters, but there could be a lot of things and interference in between your lavalier mic and the transmitter and the receiver on your camera. And you need to know you've got a signal boost that's powerful enough that you can still get through those things like arms, like buildings, even small walls and stuff like that. You want a lavalier mic that can get you through those walls. So that's really where having that kind of range really is important. The other thing that's important is, I'm doing this test live, I don't know exactly what it is, but if you do lose a signal, you need your lavalier mic to be able to pick up the signal that it lost. So if I did lose that signal, it's going to be important to know that if you do drop a signal, you can pick up the lavalier signal. And this is really important for this specific lavalier, because this lavalier mic does not have internal recording on it. So you need to be able to trust that signal that's coming through the transmitter to know that you got it. And that's really where a distance like this test is so important. The other thing that I think is really good to test out here is I did put the windscreen on this lavalier mic. It is pretty windy today, so this is a great chance to see what kind of noise we're able to take off by having this windscreen on here, which honestly is one of those things you're going to want to have in any kind of blogging type mic. But having this distance, having that windscreen that comes with this is such a great option, because this gives you the flexibility if you are having a lavalier mic like this, because you're going to need it for content creation and blogs and whatnot like that. So I'm coming in and out of the shade. I didn't put my camera on any kind of auto setting, so I'm sure it's going to be very dark as I walk up in the shadow. But here is basically what we have. Hopefully we got a good signal all the way through. That was a nice little walk on a beautiful late fall day. And let's go back in the studio and finish talking about what this little mic is and how you can keep using it for cool content creation. Okay, so there you go. We're back inside now, and you can see the distance test I thought was very revealing. This thing can do a 200-meter transmission, but it gets really, really kind of spotty at 200 meters. I kind of found once you get much closer within that 150 to 125 range is really when it got the sweet spot, and anything really within 100 meters was really, really perfect. I couldn't hear any problems with it. And for me, that's not a problem because I don't really see myself ever being more than 100 meters away from my camera anyway. That's just not something I really think I've ever done. And it's nice knowing that the power is there to get around any obstacles or distractions or signals that may be in the area. So I thought the power on it actually was really, really well. The fact that it didn't lose signal the entire time I went to 200 meters actually found to be really, really good. So this thing does have a good amount of power. Now, I do think this is a very, very good vlogging and content creator microphone. There are some things you should know about it that I would consider not necessarily cons, but things you need to be aware of if you're thinking about getting this for the system. The first one is this microphone does not have a 3.5 millimeter jack on the transmitter. So you have no option to actually use a lavalier mic that could come around. And sometimes when I'm doing more professional stuff, I don't want to actually see a big transmitter like this, even though this is small. I just want to get the small lavalier mic. If that's something you want, you do not have the option for that. If you're running gunner, that's not going to be as big a situation. If you're thinking about using this for more professional business interviews, that could be a problem for it. So all in all, I would say this is actually a great system if you're a vlogger or other social media content creator and you need to get good quality, easy sound that won't break the bank. And the fact that this package comes so self-contained with a charging case and 2 transmitters and receiver makes it just incredibly versatile and useful, honestly, wherever you need it. And like I said, I love the fact you can just throw this in your camera bag. It stays charged for days and you know you're gonna have good sound whenever and wherever you need it. Anyway, guys, I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Please leave me any notes or comments down below. Yeah, go out there, keep on shooting, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.